Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video for today. So we have to talk about I would say the second biggest IPO of the year. The first one was CoreWeave. The second one is Circle, an internet financial system for global prosperity. Now you might know about Circle if you're interested in crypto or if you're interested in stablecoins more specifically, because Circle, they are behind, well, they're the company behind USDC. You've got Tether, which is the number one player in the stablecoin ecosystem. Then you've got USDC, which is Circle. Now, Circle went public not so long ago. And as you can see, the stock is up 275%. It went public at $31 and now we're at $116.5. So quite a performance. I mean, it went public at $31. I believe it opened way higher than that, in the $60 or so. But even if you bought in the $60s or $70 over the last, 2 weeks or so, you did extremely well. And that's the thing. You did extremely well. I am still skeptical on whether investors will do well in the future. And I'll talk about the bull and bear side of this Circle story in this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, hit all the buttons, especially the subscribe one. Really appreciate that. And if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So first up, what does Circle do? And if you missed the Sunday portfolio update video, I talked a little bit about Circle in that video, but here let's recap everything. So what does Circle do? Circle is a fintech company specializing in blockchain-powered financial infrastructure. Its flagship product is, of course, the USD coin or USDC, a regulated stablecoin pegged one-to-one to the US dollar. USDC is widely used for payments, trading, and DeFi applications across the crypto ecosystem. This is a company that was founded back in 2013. Circle started as a Bitcoin payment company, later pivoting to stablecoins. It then launched USDC in partnership with Coinbase in 2018 and has since taken full control of the coin. Now, the business model is very, very simple. Circle earns revenue primarily from interest on the reserves backing USDC, mostly US treasuries, transaction fees, and enterprise services such as APIs, integration, etc., which are going to be important for the future of this business model. In Q1, as you will see, the large part of their revenue came from interest income. Now, Circle has always prioritized regulatory compliance, holding multiple licenses in the United States and UK, and is often seen as one of the most transparent and regulated crypto firms. Now, if we go and look at their financials, of course, it comes at no surprise that revenue-wise, that has been growing quite nicely over the last couple of years, as, of course, interest rates started to go up. Because look, reserve income back in 2022, that was over 735 million. Then it was 1.43 billion in 2023, and then now in 2020, back in 2024, that was $1.66 billion. And $1.66 billion out of $1.67 billion comes from that specific segment, which is reserve income. And so, of course, the question here is, just like with other companies that will have a lot of their revenue and income coming from interest income, what happens when we drop, right? Because currently we're at 425, 450, right, basis points. This is for the December meeting. There's a 40.9% chance probability that we're going to be between 375 and 400 basis points. Now, of course, this is for the December meeting, so until then, a lot of things can change, right? If we look at a month ago, that number was closer to 29.9%. Now, we could be higher towards the end of the year. We could be lower as well. There are also two camps here, and not just for Circle, but for, the whole market. There is this camp of, we're just going to be staying higher for longer, right? So we're not going back to 0%. We're going to be floating around the 3% for a long period of time. Now, of course, being over 4% right now, going to 3%, companies like Circle, I'd even say maybe a Robinhood as well, are going to take a hit as interest rates come down. But as interest rates come down, of course, for a company like Robinhood, they have other tailwinds. But for a company like Circle, it is now at around 100 basis points less, and that will definitely impact their business or their revenue growth. unless they manage to grow even faster. They manage to increase their market cap. Maybe they manage to have even more partnerships in the future, more integration in the future. Maybe they'll have banks, right? Banks transacting on their own network. Could very well be. But at the moment, I'd still say that as long as interest rates stay up for longer, should be benefiting a company like Circle. Of course, if we suddenly come down quite rapidly, right? If it's not a 25 basis point cut, but suddenly a 50 or a full point, I don't know if that's going to happen realistically. But yeah, the faster we go down, the bigger the pressure will be on Circle's financials. Now, for those that are interested, here are some of the top stablecoins in the market. So right now we have Tether at number 1, that's USDT, market cap $155 billion, USDC 61 at number 2. Then we've got these ones right here, and then you've got PayPal back under $1 billion. It was actually just above $1 billion a couple of days ago. We've also been above $1 billion in market cap a year ago, well, almost a year ago. And as you can see, almost all of them, almost all of them, USDC and PayPal, you can see the similarity in their charts. Of course, market cap wise, there is a big difference here, right? PayPal is at 980 million. USDC here is at 61.2 billion. But here as well, you can see it peaked mid 2022, just like with PayPal stablecoin. And then we went all the way back down to around, let's call it the end of 2023. And then it started to make its way back up. Now with USDC, of course, we can see what has happened previously, right? When we had 0% interest rates. When we have 0% interest rates, this is the market cap of that company. And then as rates started to go up, this thing did go up as well. And of course, revenue-wise, that followed. Now, as for Tether, Tether is actually a completely different story. Yes, it also peaked back here in 2022. It dipped a little bit. But since then, Tether has been growing and growing and growing and growing. So we did not see that, let's say, cup type of pattern for Tether. I've got questions about Tether. I think many people have questions about Tether, whether or not they're truly backed by something or just fugazi. Now, circling back to Circle, how will they grow revenue in the future? So, of course, you have the reserve yield, so scales with USDC supply and interest rates, so $4 to $5 billion net possible if supply does grow, like we've just seen with Tether. The other one is, of course, recurring revenue from software or API monetization, from enterprise APIs, wallets, FX or foreign exchange, etc. Here, according to some sources and estimates, $2 to $3 billion potential, of course, depending on how quickly they can scale, how many partnerships they can have. $2 to $3 billion potential here. Then monetizing stablecoin flows, payments via Circle's payment network, integrating USDC into global finance via partners like Visa, BlackRock. I believe there's also a partnership with Sony. So clearly there are opportunities to diversify their revenue streams and rely less on this higher rate environment. Now, I also think that we're going to see higher for longer. The question is how high? Right? If we go to 2%, that's quite a big deal for a company that generates the majority of its revenue and income from, interest rates. For the others, I don't think that 2% is such a big deal. And then some people might say, okay, all of that is great, but there is an issue here, right? There is an issue with stablecoins. Why would you put your money into stablecoins, right? The stablecoin holders, which is the companies, they make money from you, right? Clearly from interest rates, from interest income, from higher interest rates. But you, as the stablecoin person or user or whatnot, you don't earn interest. I hope you know that. You don't earn interest. If you put your money in a bank, if you put your money in Robinhood or SoFi, they earn money, but you earn interest as well. So why would I, right, if I'm not getting any interest, why would I put my money into that stablecoin? It just doesn't make any sense, right? It does not make any sense. Yes, it is much, much faster, so the transfers are instantaneously. You have global access as well. But what happens when, let's say, another stablecoin, let's say maybe PayPal says, you know what, actually, you will earn interest as well, right? PayPal or another player, doesn't matter. Then it hurts a business like Circle, because then it will force Circle to pay you interest and they'll keep less money, which will hurt the business model. Definitely a possibility. Moving on to the centralized versus decentralized argument, right? So Circle, censorship resistance, no. Circle can freeze it. Of course, if you own, that's in general, right? If you own your coins or whatnot on an exchange, you don't own it, okay? If you want to, put it in a cold wallet where you own the keys, where you own everything, because then it's yours, nobody can touch it, just so we're clear. Centralized control, yes, of course, for Circle, no for the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Regulatory compliance is, of course, very, very high for Circle, which is why they went public, which, yes, is a win for the crypto, let's say, ecosystem community, maybe, but it's quite funny how we went from only decentralized to now cheering for centralized and highly regulatory environment for the crypto community. But okay, I'll take it as a win. So, yes, with USDC, with Circle, they can sort of freeze what you own. But then again, so can every other platform out there if you own your coins and tokens and whatnot on their platform. So the lesson here is cold storage, you own the keys, you have no problems whatsoever. And so to summarize, while the stock continues to go up, while there is a lot of attention to it, it's probably in the fear of missing out type of moment right now, plus IPO. There aren't that many IPO or successful IPO that have happened in the last couple of years. So yeah, every time there is a popular one or a successful one, of course, the market will push it higher and higher. But at one point, you will have either insider selling. At one point, you'll have just people say, you know what, 200% good enough for me, we'll start dumping. And then you have the usual typical correction in the post-IPO cycle, right? We go up a lot and then we stay down for quite a long time. So the market actually chooses a certain price where it says, okay, this is the bottom, this is the baseline, and we're going to make our way up from here. But of course, with Circle, you have that other aspect, that rate cutting aspect. For the bull market, for the stock market, it's great if we don't cut that much all at once, right? Because the longer you can stretch the rate cutting cycle, the longer you can stretch a bull market. And the longer you can stretch that, of course, that means that rates will probably stay higher for longer, which gives a company like Circle more time to figure out how they want to diversify their business, grow in market cap as well. But all that said, still think it's very, very expensive. And yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I would probably trade it. This is not financial advice, but that's just the way I'm thinking about it. I have exposure to stablecoins, probably through PayPal, I'd say maybe even SoFi as well. And who knows what might happen in the future. So all in all, that's about it. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all of that. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.